Hi. It's 8 o'clock, Saturday morning, February 1st. I am sitting in a shopping center in Fullerton. And since my last video, I've been a little under the weather, but I'm ready to get back out and hike again. And I thought for my first hike of, well, almost of the year, but certainly of the month, it's February 1st, I figured my first hike would be something really different. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna hike the Fullerton Loop. I've got my headphones in because, earbuds, whatever because a lot of this trail is on streets, a lot of it is off streets, some of it is through people's backyard. I got a couple miles, I think, that go right through a Walmart. Anyway, it's a little bit of urban exploring that I thought might be fun to do. Now, I found a website that actually provides turn-by-turn directions for the loop, and I've put the link for that website in the contents below. I've printed up directions to the loop from that website, and this is what I'm going to follow. I printed it on paper so I can still film as much as I want. I'm cold, it's like 50 degrees out here. I know, everybody else in the world, February 1st actually means winter, but we're in Southern California. It should be 80, and it will be a little later today, which is why I dressed nice and cool. So what do you say? Let's get out and hike the Fullerton Loop. Now, I know I tend to just include music in on this, but this time I thought I would do a little voiceover. That's Hiltscher Park over across the street, and we're starting at the Ralph's Shopping Center, which is right across the street in the other direction from the courthouse. So if you're looking to start this trail, you'd be starting right around here. So you can stock up on anything you want for those 12 miles, or not, like me. I just crossed the street. Headed on out, didn't even stop by Starbucks. So sad. Anyway, Hiltscher Park over there. And right now we're heading up Harbor Boulevard in Orange County. Harbor, just so you know, goes all the way from almost to the beach all the way up into the foothills. Most of it's a pain in the ass. So you go down Harbor Boulevard for a little ways, and what you're looking for is the golf course. Clearly, not there yet, but I wanted to let you know that you're going to be passing through a little bit of city as you start. Probably not this much for the rest of the walk / hike. Definitely not this much. So you'd be happy to know that this is where you get most of your city in. Now, what you're about to see coming our way is a mountain biker. The Fullerton Loop is mostly a mountain biking trail. And I'm traveling on it, counterclockwise. They're going clockwise. I wanted to go in the opposite direction of them just for safety's sake, but what I found out was it also provided me with a little additional help. When I got lost, I'd just look for mountain bikers. Finally, here we come to the golf course on our right. So I'm at that was great. So I'm at my first turn into the Golfer's Paradise golf course. The loop is supposed to diverge from the road right around at this point. So far I've been using the mountain bikers who also take this trail as a way of spotting the trail. Sadly, I don't see any right now, but I'll keep looking. Now, the thing about the Fullerton Loop is just how hard it is to find the actual trail itself. For instance, when I went up this driveway, I didn't know I was supposed to go right Right there, right. No, I went left because I thought that's the way I'm going. I'll keep going left. Look, there's even a mountain biker coming down that wash, and I thought, well, maybe that's, maybe this is a sign I'm going the right way. So I just kept looking and looking. Yep, there's that wash. And looking and not seeing a single sign of any trails, any mountain bikers, anybody just walking around. And here I am walking back towards Fullerton, so I know I'm lost. And you're probably wondering, well, then how did you get back, or how did you get on the trail? How did you get up to the trail? Well, the sad part is, see, have no idea where I'm going. The sad part is, I ended up going up that wash. That's right. Sometimes you just have to take detours. So, my directions up to this point referred to the Brea Dam Trail and taking it through the tunnel that goes under Bastanchury. Here's the truth. There's about a dozen trails out here, maybe more. And they all wrap around each other and go this way and that way and here, there, and everywhere. But I gotta tell you, I'm already pretty lost. The nice thing about this trail, though, is that there will be times on the PCT when I have to take a detour or just don't know where the fuck I am, where trusting my directions or trusting I can work around my directions is going to be really important. So, I'm supposed to take a trail that goes under Bastanchury. I have no idea where Bastanchury is from this point. Up there somewhere. So I'm just going to keep walking. Now we're headed into the Brea Reservoir / Coyote... oh, shoot, I forgot the name of it already. Coyote Hills area of Fullerton, right? Actually, we are just east of Harbor Boulevard at this point. And all that land out in front of me is the reservoir area. This is probably the part of the trail that looks most like a hike. You're out in nature. There's not that many buildings, though there's some out in the distance. You just got to try not to pay attention. And you're just out walking on a trail. But don't get used to it because this isn't going to last long. So we're now a little further down the trail, off the concrete, into what would be in a rainier year the muddier section of the trail. But fortunately, I caught it when it was just dirt. There's about a half a dozen trails to go through here, and there's mountain bikers on all of them. And you just kind of have to pick your way through and find where you're going. And basically just hope for the best. One way or the other, you're surrounded by city. Even if you get lost, there's plenty around you to help find your way. No signs, but you know. So, I have come to a crossroads. And what am I going to do? I'm going to do that thing where you walk up a trail a little ways, see if it's the right one, and if it's not, you got to go back and do the next one. Just like on a video game. So who guessed I took the wrong trail? $5 to you. The strange thing about that crossroads is if you take the trail that goes the way you think you want to go, you go the wrong way. You actually want to take the trail that goes the way you don't think you're going to go. And that does lead the right way. What we're looking for, by the way, is a tunnel that goes under the dam at Bastanchury. Now, this might not look like it's heading anywhere near that direction, but you will be surprised to find, my friends, that as you descend the trail, you end up in this, well, as you can see, this concrete area where all the mountain bikers hang out, and here's the tunnel that goes under Bastanchury. So let's take you on through. And I'm willing to bet that you're not going to guess what's on the other side. So, the directions tell you to go underneath the tunnel, up a hill, to some railroad tracks. You're right on a golf course. It's actually quite entertaining just to see all these golfers look at you like, what the fuck are you doing on my golf course? I'm messing it up, that's what I'm doing. But actually, we're not on the golf course. Here's the border fence, the boundary fence, whatever. So we're just skirting right along it. Now, here's a little test for those of you who get a little nervous on the trail. As you can see, to my right is a golf course, and between the golf course and myself is this nice fence. To my left is a lot of faux marijuana. Now, I don't know what that plant is. And right in front of me is the trail, which is just about as wide as your average really fat hiker. I used someone else to find that out. Anyway, what I haven't mentioned yet is that mountain bikers are coming down the other way. Remember, I'm walking in the opposite direction. So they can come down and say hi to me anytime they want. And don't think I didn't think about this the whole time I was walking here. Fortunately, most mountain bikers, despite what you might hear, aren't the devil. They just work for him. I was supposed to get to the top of this and look for railroad tracks. Unfortunately, I've come to another street without a railroad track in sight. So, I'm just gonna keep admiring would natural beauty count? Admiring the beauty of this hike. It is rather fun, actually, just to be able to walk along with people who are out walking their dogs, or just walk along and see these parks. Ladies and gentlemen, the railroad tracks. Today is a tough day for the intrepid urban explorer. I'm seeing a lot of Fullerton. Unfortunately, I took the wrong way on the railroad tracks. So I gotta. So, I'm back where I began, where I started off at the railroad tracks. And I'm just gonna keep going up the other way. You know, you've gotta allow yourself the latitude to make mistakes when you're out here, because sometimes directions are fuzzy and you don't always have a map, and you just have to go with it. Just got to be open to the experience and know that you're still within a big city, so you can get to a burger place anytime you want. Well, this clearly only applies to this trail, but you get the idea. So, that's sunny. So, I'm heading up the embankment that's on the directions that should go to the Juanita Cooke Trail while I listen to Monty Python. It's a dog license with the word dog crossed out and the word cat written in crayon. A little steep. Ooh, a little sunny. So, I'm back on the Juanita Cooke Trail. And I was just on here a couple weeks ago and absolutely loved it. Not to mention, this is the first marked trail on the map, or in the directions, not necessarily on the map. So now I actually know what trail I'm on. So, I've now gone through the first paragraph in the directions, 1/5 of the way through. It's almost 10 o'clock. It's been about 2 hours for that 1/5. And yeah, I may be hiking for a little bit today. But again, these trails aren't marked in a lot of cases, and you just gotta roll with it, you know? And look out for all the flies. Anyway, what I was gonna tell you is one of the reasons I'm not filming so much on this trail is I am averse to filming where there's lots of people, because I think it's rude to film people without their permission. But this trail is really popular. There's a lot of people on this trail today. So, I've been a little skimpy on the filming on this particular, on the Juanita Cooke Trail. But take my word for it, it's really pretty. And soon we're gonna go into beautiful Laguna Lake. But this is gonna take some imagination on your part. Good morning. When I say beautiful Laguna Lake, okay, maybe it's not totally beautiful. It's not a 10, but it is a lake. There is a city called Laguna to the south. Actually, I don't know why this is called Laguna Lake, but you know, it's one of those things where even being out on a lake without too much around it and in the middle of a city, it's still 100 times better than being at home. Okay, so here's what you might want to know about Laguna Lake. First of all, I'm walking on the wrong side. I mean, there's really not a wrong or right side, but yeah, I'm walking on the wrong side, so you'd want to go on the other side. It's a better side. Laguna Lake is a man-made lake that's supposed to have fish, but I mean, yeah, it's not that beautiful. But when you leave, you go into Laguna Lake Park, which is this long, almost green, shoot, what do they call them? Green belts. It's almost like a big green belt. But it's very pretty. And even though you're walking in the suburbs, it does have that nice, relaxed kind of country feel. At least, you know, if you're gonna step outside of the city. Yep, more mountain bikers coming my way, and I'm stepping out of their way. But the whole way down, it's beautiful and green and just lovely. And the other really nice thing is all these benches. If you want to take a little lunch break, I can't think of a prettier place. You've got this whole, ranch-style park with the little ranch fences and everything. Of course, the road, I believe Euclid, right on the other side there. But you're just heading down this green belt and enjoying the shade, enjoying the view, and enjoying the feeling of not being lost, because that isn't going to last. As I mentioned, not many of these trails are marked, so it's important to have directions, and important also to allow yourself to be a little lost now and then, because the first time, at the very least, you're probably going to be. But hey, if you have to be lost, what a nice place to get lost in, right? At this point in the directions, I'm told to go 0.1 miles south to or on Euclid. Not really quite sure, because we don't empty out onto Euclid. But there's supposed to be a Sarah Kutner or something trail, and I'm hoping if I walk up to Euclid, I'll see it. Because I'm only supposed to go 1/10 of a mile. Yeah, and I'm pretty much lost again. Although that goes that way. All right, let's go this way. Actually, I just looked at the directions again, and the directions said to cross Euclid. So I'm crossing Euclid, and it said head south on Euclid. So, sometimes you just gotta trust that the directions know what the hell they're talking about, and backtrack when you find out they're wrong. Well, I've come upon a trail. It's not marked. It's behind a fence with razor wire. I'm beginning to suspect I'm not in the right place. But let's take the trail and find out, because there are no other trails around. So the thing to remember about this next stretch is that it's going to be your last real stretch of, this is in quotes, country that you're going to see. And yeah, there are some trees, and yeah, there's a little shade, but mostly it's just scruff and cactus and scruff. And it's what we in Orange County call where they haven't built houses yet. We have a lot of those places. But right now, we're just walking between a bunch of houses where things have not yet been built. A lot of this section is uphill and uphill and uphill. But it's a nice workout, and as long as it's not too hot, it's rather pleasant, because you get shade every now and then. But there are no benches, there are no markers, and at this part of the trail, you don't even really know you're on the trail. You're on a trail, but that's why it's important to trust those directions and hope you interpret them in the right way. Now we're coming back down the other side, having done a little bit of climbing, and as you can see, nice shade, and actually it looks like this whole area is going to burn down in about 5 minutes. It's so dry. But there's shade. And yes, there's houses just to the left. So, I'm here at the trail sign for the Nora Kuttner Recreational Trail. It's at the wrong end of the trail, or the right end if you're going the other direction, but the wrong end if you're going the way I was going. And now, a little more urban navigating. because you have to go up Castlewood Drive through this, well, kind of residential section, I guess you'd call it, and all this other shit. So you're going up Castlewood Drive for the next section of climbing, which, as it turns out, is called the highest section of climbing, because you're going to be going to your highest spot. But don't let the name fool you. Actually, it's really not that hard to climb. The worst part is getting through this light. It takes forever. Hello, Euclid Avenue. What's wrong with you? Is it Euclid? I'm not sure. Anyway, far be it from me to look that up. Anyway, you might also think about taking a break right around here, because when I was out there it got pretty hot and I needed to find a shady spot. And there are a few up this climb. But again, no markers, no benches, no chairs, no rest. You already passed those spots. No, I'm kidding. There's a park coming up after all this. Now, I was told it was really a hard climb, but actually in the end, I just ended up looking at the scenery, which in my case ended up being a whole lot of hazy ocean views. Hazy ocean views, but man, they're pretty. And then I headed back down. So, I'm off the Castlewood Trail. I'm back on another street. I've traded out my hat for my buff because the cool traded out for heat. It is a hot one, and it is February 1st. And in most of the country, they don't know what that's like, but let me tell you. So I'm supposed to follow this until I get to the West Coyote Hills Park, something like that. We'll see. You're just gonna have to excuse the hair. So I am at West Coyote Hills Park. And I'm supposed to be at West Coyote Hills Tree Park. But I just took a nice long rest, little lunch, because I still have a whole lot more to hike. And I just found out my phone is dying, so I can't film as much. But I'm gonna take a little side road over to West Coyote Hills Park. No, over to West Coyote Hills Tree Park, and I'll pick it up from there. And here I am at trying to fix my trekking pole. Here I am at West Coyote Hills Tree Park. I gotta tell you, none of these trails are really marked, so you really have to navigate carefully, or you're gonna end up backtracking an awful lot. Take it from me. Anyway, this is supposed to go up through some parks. Let's hope so. Let's hope they have water fountains, because I is thirsty. Did I say parks? Let me go back and check that again. Did I say parks? Because once again, we're in an area better known as where they have yet to build houses. There's houses to the left of me, houses to the right to me, and here I am, stuck in this place with you. Well, ain't that a son of a bitch. So I find myself, having crossed Parks Drive and another street, I find myself on a semi-paved path going through what looks like a park. The park's not named, the trail's not named. I am just putting my faith in walking. Now, I'm not going to kid you. A lot of this hiking is through green belts, it's behind houses, which makes it an interesting hike as far as finding your way. But when it comes to beautiful scenery or getting away from it, well, you aren't anywhere near away from it. And the scenery is often streets. Now you see, there's Gus Grissom Park. The sign is facing the wrong way, as it did with most of the parks I went through. You're supposed to go through 3 parks named after astronauts, but you only see that one. So you've got to be really aware of just where you're going and
what's going on around you as you pick your way through, well, let's call them parks.
Something has happened to my selfie stick. That happened to my selfie stick. I don't think that's how they're supposed to work. I really don't. Anyway, goodbye, selfie stick. So some very nice person put a bench out here, and I am so grateful. I want you to know that according to the directions, I should have hit 3 parks that were named after Apollo astronauts. I saw Gus Grissom, barely was able to take a picture of it, but I didn't see the other 2, and I am almost at Bastanchury, where I'm supposed to turn for the last paragraph of directions. So just to give you a little update, the trail's been very pretty. Lots and lots of vegetation and shade, etc., etc. Very hot. Don't do this in the summer. I'm going to take the rest. I'm not going to film as much because, this is actually kind of hilarious while at the same time, I don't know, maybe just the slightest bit disturbing. I can't find where I'm supposed to go on the map, so I have to trust the directions. So I'm walking on this railroad track. Hey, no idea where I'm going. It's just me and the road, and I kind of like that. It reminds me of so many times being out on the PCT, not knowing where the hell I am, kind of freaking out. But here, I know where the hell I am because I'm in Fullerton. So even though I don't really know where I am, I know where I am. You get what I'm saying, right? It's just a matter of walking and walking and walking and walking until I get where I'm gonna end up. Well, now I'm off of the train tracks and back on the streets, walking up Valencia, gonna turn on Bastanchury, gonna go from there to Valley View, and back to another trail. Well, now that I'm on Valley View, I have a decision to make. Take this short little paved trail to the top of this hill and see what's what. It's also a whole lot of trial and error. He said going back at the end of Valley View comes the Hiltscher Trail. And look, it's even marked. It's amazing. Boy, could I go for a water fountain right now. I'm so fucking thirsty. It's very hot and there's a lot of climbing on this trail. I underestimated my water usage by quite a bit. Fortunately, we're going to be dropping down into a ravine where there's lots of shade. Almost at the end. My hair's a mess. It's a dirty, smelly, sweaty mess. And I am on the Juanita Cooke Trail. I have 3/4 of a mile to go before I finish. So, with that in mind, I will count down on the trail to the end.
And there you have it. You've just survived another Ken LaSalle video. For more information about new releases, projects in the works, or even stuff from the archives, head on down to kenlasalle.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and all around social media, just as long as it's called Facebook or Twitter. Thanks for your support, as always. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, and I'll be back soon with more nonsense.